What's up, guys? Robitech here, and a huge shout out to Newegg for sponsoring today's video. Today, I want to talk about something more powerful, which is how to get more free frames out of your brand new 7900 XTX and your 7900 XT. We have these two cards that just came out, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about stuff that you can do that's essentially free for performance that you may not know. By the way, the things that I'm gonna tell you, it's not just for the 7000 series card. This will work on your 6950, your 6900, and all those other ones as well. So this will work on older Radeon cards as well. So this is free performance just for Radeon in general, but we're gonna use the 7000 series because that's the one that just recently came out. I'm just gonna run you through it, show you how to do this and how this magic essentially works. So before I do that, I wanna talk a little bit about this card. And so this is the 7900 XTX, and this is the one we're going to be using here. This is the Sapphire Nitro. It's got 96 compute units. It's got 96 ray tracing accelerators. It has 123 teraflops of compute performance. It's got 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, and it does all of this with DisplayPort 2.1, which supports basically 4K up to 480 hertz and 8K up to 165 hertz versus the NVIDIA 4080 and 4090, which are 4K at 240 hertz and 8K at 60 hertz. All of that on 330 watts. And then if you do the 7900 XT, it's 300 watts. So very, very impressive card. And you can pick yours up over at Newegg today, or maybe throughout the day, or even over the course of the next month, because they're going to continuously be dropping these cards for $999 and then $899 for the 7900 XTX. So incredible cards. Check out the reviews. They've reviewed very, very well. The whole thing that's important though is what do I have to do, Roby, to get free frames? And so we're gonna show you a little bit of data here. We ran some initial tests on this card. We're gonna use 4 games. We're gonna use Tiny Tina's Adventure. We're gonna use the Callisto Protocol, which is the newest one that just came out from AMD. We're gonna use Forza Horizon 5, and we're gonna show and use Cyberpunk 2077. So that way it's basically a myriad of games, including stuff that's set and good for NVIDIA, and stuff that has both ray tracing and then just raw performance. We have AMD titles, NVIDIA titles, etc. So a small spattering of titles to kind of preview how this whole system is going to work. So starting off, let's just do some raw testing. Let's just show you some numbers for these games. Now these are nothing on, no additives, so to speak, nothing going in there. This is just raw performance. If you plugged it in and none of this stuff was turned on, this is what you get. So for Tiny Tina's Adventure, the highest graphics preset, you're going to sit 142.89 FPS. These are run on an Ryzen 9 7900X with 32 gigs of Kingston Fury 6000 megahertz RAM. We had Windows 11. Were the game. So again, if you want to, your performance may vary depending on which games that essentially you're going to run. For the Callisto Protocol, we're looking at 114.87. Same for Ultra preset. So I like this. We have, theirs was badass. Sorry for the bad word. Ultra for Callisto Protocol. Extreme for Forza Horizon 5, sitting at 98 frames per second. And then Cyberpunk 2077, 38.83 with ray tracing and everything set to Ultra. So there are your start of your titles. Good, solid performance numbers. Now let's do a little magic. So the first one I'm going to talk about 2 technologies here at the beginning, and then we'll hit a third here in a bit. And the first one is called Smart Access Memory, and the other one is Fidelity FX Super Resolution. So Smart Access Memory basically gives the CPU full access to the 24 gigs of GDDR6 on your GPU. And what this does is this unlocks bottlenecks for like high-level compute, etc., for things like games. So you are going to see a boost in performance. So that's Smart Access Memory. The other name for it is rebar. Or rebar and above 4G decoding is another name, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. How do you turn it on? Well, what you're gonna do, because all motherboards aren't the same, essentially you're gonna go look for either what's called resize bar and then above 4G decoding. And you're going to turn those 2 on. You're seeing here are graphics of what this would look like on an Asus motherboard. But the key thing here is that because it's different for every mobile, it may be in different places for ASRock, etc. This has started to get so popular, like for instance here you're seeing on an Asus motherboard, that this can sometimes just be turned on, especially with like new 7000 series, Ryzen X670, in some Z790s from Intel. This is already on and enabled for you. And then even very up there at the very top of the BIOS, you'll actually see it as just a one-click option to turn it on, and that turns on everything you need to do it. Now, once that's on, what you can do is you can go into your Adrenaline software, and so we'll show you here. And then what you can do is you can go to your Performance tab and then go to Tuning. And then down here, you'll actually see where it says Resize Bar and it says Enabled. Now, depending on if you have an older AMD card, it might actually say Smart Access Memory. So as long as this is turned on, you actually know that you're good to go. The other one that I want to talk to you about is what's called AMD's FSR, or Fidelity Super Resolution. It's a type of rendering technique that basically boosts the frame rate in games and allowing the GPUs like the 7900 XTX to essentially punch above its weight class. So prior to things, and you've heard of things similar like DLSS or XESS, I know lots of S's, but what these do is they're allowing the lifespan of cards to get better by doing these